My name is Raymond Cole. I'm 58 years old. And 3 years ago, at the age of 55, after 28 years of marriage, I walked out of my house, got in my car, and drove away from the life I'd built. Everyone thought I was insane. My family said I was going through a midlife crisis. My friends, the few I had left, said I was throwing away my life. My pastor said I was breaking my vows before God. Even my own children questioned my sanity. My son said, "Dad, you're 55 years old. How are you going to start over?" My daughter said, "How could you do this to Mom? After everything she's done for you?" But walking away from that marriage was the best decision I ever made. Not just good. Not just okay. The best. Because I wasn't leaving a relationship. I was escaping a prison. A prison I'd been in for so long that I'd forgotten what freedom felt like. I'd forgotten what it was like to make my own decisions. To have my own thoughts. To be my own person. This is the story of how I got trapped. How I stayed trapped for 28 years. How I finally found the courage to leave. And how I rebuilt my entire life from scratch at an age when most people think it's too late to change anything. It's not a story about blame. I'm not here to villainize my ex-wife. I'm not here to play the victim. I'm here to tell you the truth. About what emotional abuse looks like. About how it creeps in slowly. About how it makes you doubt yourself until you don't even recognize who you are anymore. And about how leaving, even when everyone tells you you're wrong, can save your life. Because that's what it did for me. It saved my life. Let me take you back to the very beginning. Not just to when the marriage got bad, but to before I even met my ex-wife. Because understanding who I was before helps you understand how I got lost. I was born in 1967 in Detroit, Michigan. East Side. My father, Robert Cole, worked at the Ford plant. Assembly line. Good union job. Steady income. My mother, Geneva Cole, was a secretary at a church. She also cleaned houses on the side for extra money. We weren't rich, but we weren't poor either. Solid working-class black family. I was the middle child. Had an older sister, Monica, and a younger sister, Denise. My father was a quiet man. Didn't talk much. Came home from work, ate dinner, watched TV, went to bed. He wasn't mean, but he wasn't warm either. Just present. Doing his duty. Providing. My mother was the opposite. Loud. Opinionated. Ran the household with an iron fist. My father never questioned her. Never challenged her. If she said something, that was it. End of discussion. Even if it didn't make sense. Even if it wasn't fair. He'd just nod and say, "Yes, Geneva. Whatever you think is best." I remember asking him once when I was about 12 years old, "Dad, why do you always let Mom make all the decisions?" He looked at me with tired eyes and said, "Son, happy wife, happy life. That's how marriage works. You keep her happy, and everything runs smooth. But what about you? What about what you want? What I want doesn't matter. My job is to provide and keep peace. That's what a man does." I didn't understand it then. Thought he was weak. Thought he was letting my mother walk all over him. But now, looking back, I realize he was teaching me a pattern. A pattern I'd repeat in my own marriage without even realizing it. I was a good kid. Did well in school. Played basketball. Had friends. Graduated high school in 1985. Went to Wayne State University. Studied accounting. Got my degree in 1989. Started working at a small accounting firm called Henderson and Associates. I was good at my job. Detail-oriented. Reliable. Clients liked me. My boss liked me. I got promoted to senior accountant after 3 years. By the time I was 27, I was making $45,000 a year. Good money for 1994. I had my own apartment. A nice one-bedroom in a decent neighborhood. I had a car. A social life. I played basketball with my boys every Saturday morning. Went to concerts. Dated casually. Nothing serious. I was enjoying my life. Building my career. Figuring out who I was. Then my mother started. Raymond, when are you going to settle down? You're 27 years old. Most of your friends are already married. I'm not ready, Ma. Not ready? What are you waiting for? I don't know. The right person, I guess. You're not going to find the right person sitting in your apartment. You need to get out there. Meet a nice girl. Start a family. I'm fine, Ma. I don't need to rush. Raymond, let me tell you something. A man needs a wife. Someone to take care of him. Keep him grounded. Otherwise, you're just going to waste your life chasing nothing. I'm not chasing nothing. I'm building my career. Your career isn't going to keep you warm at night. A good woman will. And I want grandbabies. Your sister Monica has 3 kids already. Denise just had her first. When are you going to give me some grandbabies? Ma, please. I'll get married when I'm ready. You need to get ready now. Before all the good women are taken. She wouldn't let it go. Every Sunday dinner. Every phone call. Every family gathering. Raymond, when are you bringing someone home? Raymond, I met a nice girl at church. You should meet her. Raymond, your cousin's wife has a friend who's single. Maybe I should give her your number. It was exhausting. So finally, just to get her off my back, I agreed to go to a singles mixer at the church. It was on a Friday night in March of 1994. I didn't want to be there. Showed up late, planning to stay for 30 minutes and leave. The church fellowship hall was decorated with balloons and streamers. Terrible music playing. Gospel mixed with R&B. About 40 people there. Mostly women. A few men. Everyone awkwardly mingling. Holding plastic cups of punch. Making small talk. I was standing by the refreshment table, counting down the minutes until I could leave, when she walked up to me. Hi, I'm Lorraine. Lorraine Jacobs. I looked up. And there she was. Light brown skin. Long dark hair styled perfectly. Wearing a burgundy dress that fit her like it was tailored. Heels. Makeup done. She looked like she'd stepped out of a magazine. I'm Raymond. Raymond Cole. She smiled. Are you as uncomfortable being here as I am? Very. She laughed. Good. At least I'm not alone. My mother forced me to come. She thinks I need to find a husband. Mine too. Apparently, I'm getting too old to be single. How old are you? She asked. 27. You? 25. We're ancient, she said with a smirk. Practically over the hill. We talked for 2 hours. Forgot about everyone else in the room. She told me she worked as an administrative assistant at a law firm downtown. Had been there for 3 years. Lived with her mother and younger brother in Highland Park. Was saving money to get her own place. She was smart. Articulate. Confident. Asked me about my job. My family. My goals. And she listened. Really listened. Not just waiting for a turn to talk, but actually engaged. By the end of the night, I had her number. Called her 2 days later. We went on our first date that following Saturday. Dinner at a nice restaurant in Greektown. She wore a black dress. I wore a suit. We talked for 3 hours. About everything. Our childhoods. Our families. Our dreams. She said she wanted to get married, have children, build a stable, Christian home. She was very clear about that. I'm not interested in dating just to date, Raymond. I'm 25 years old. I want to find my husband. Build a life. If you're not looking for that, we should stop now before anyone gets hurt. I appreciated her honesty. And honestly, I was ready too. Tired of the dating game. Tired of my mother nagging me. Ready to settle down. So I said, I'm looking for that too. Good. Then let's see where this goes. We dated for 8 months. During that time, Lorraine was everything I thought I wanted. She was attentive. Called me every day. Made sure I'd eaten. Asked about my day. On weekends, she'd come to my apartment and cook for me. Big meals. Fried chicken. Collard greens. Macaroni and cheese. Cornbread. All the foods I loved. She'd clean my apartment while I watched TV. Organize my closet. Iron my clothes. She'd say, a man needs a woman to take care of him. Let me take care of you, Raymond. My mother loved her. Finally, you found a good one. This is the kind of woman who'll make a good wife. She knows how to run a household. She'll keep you in line. My father liked her too. She's respectful. Polite. You could do a lot worse, son. My friends were less enthusiastic. My best friend, Marcus, pulled me aside one day. Man, I don't know about her. What do you mean? She's great. She's a little controlling, don't you think? Controlling? How? She's just organized. Every time we try to hang out, she calls you like 50 times. Making sure you're where you said you'd be. Asking when you're coming home. That's not controlling. She just cares. If you say so, man. Just be careful. You're moving fast. We're both ready to settle down. Nothing wrong with that. All right, man. Just saying. I ignored his concerns. Thought he was just jealous. Thought he didn't understand what a real relationship looked like. Looking back, Marcus saw what I couldn't. The early warning signs. The control disguised as care. The checking in disguised as concern. But I was in love. Or what I thought was love. And I wasn't going to let anyone talk me out of it. I proposed in June of 1995. Took her to Belle Isle. Down by the water. Got down on one knee. Pulled out a ring I'd saved 3 months to buy. Lorraine Jacobs, will you marry me? She cried. Said yes. Hugged me tight. We're going to have such a good life together, Raymond. I'm going to take such good care of you. We got married 4 months later. October 14th, 1995. Big church wedding. Her family. My family. Friends. Co-workers. 200 people. I wore a tuxedo. She wore a white gown with a long train. We said our vows. For better or worse. In sickness and in health. Till death do us part. I meant every word. Thought we'd be together forever. Thought I'd found my partner. My equal. My teammate. I had no idea what I was really signing up for. The honeymoon was in Jamaica. 1 week. All-inclusive resort. It was beautiful. We swam. Relaxed on the beach. Made love. Talked about our future. The house we'd buy. The kids we'd have. The life we'd build. Everything felt perfect. But even then, there were signs. Small things. She didn't like it when I wanted to go to the hotel bar without her. Where are you going? Just to get a drink. Talk to some people. Why? I'm right here. I know. I just want to walk around. Explore. We can explore together. You don't need to go alone. It's not a big deal, Lorraine. Fine. Go. But don't be gone long. Or when I wanted to try an excursion, like jet skiing. You want to do what? Jet skiing. It looks fun. That's dangerous. You could get hurt. I'll be careful. I don't think it's a good idea. Come on, Lorraine. We're on vacation. Let's have some fun. If something happens to you, who's going to take care of me? Nothing's going to happen. I don't want you to do it. Please. I looked at her face. Saw the worry. The fear. And I thought, she just cares about me. She doesn't want me to get hurt. So I said, okay. We won't do it. Thank you. See, this is why we're perfect together. Because you listened to me. At the time, I thought it was sweet. Thought it showed how much she cared. Now I realize it was the first time I gave up something I wanted to keep her happy. And it wouldn't be the last. We came back from Jamaica and moved into a small 2-bedroom apartment in Southfield. It wasn't much, but it was ours. Lorraine quit her job at the law firm. Said she wanted to focus on building our home. Being a wife. I'll cook. Clean. Make sure everything is perfect for you. You just focus on work and bringing home money. I'll handle everything else. Are you sure? You liked your job. I liked it fine. But being a wife is more important. This is what I was meant to do. If that's what you want. It is. Trust me, Raymond. This is what's best for both of us. So I became the sole breadwinner. And she became the homemaker. Traditional roles. At first, it worked. I'd come home to a clean apartment. Dinner on the table. My clothes washed and ironed. Everything organized. Lorraine was efficient. The apartment was spotless. The fridge was always stocked. Bills were paid on time. She'd sit me down every Sunday and go over the budget. Here's what we spent this week. Here's what we saved. Here's what we need for next month. I was impressed. Thought, I married a good woman. Someone who can manage a household. Someone responsible. But slowly, things started to shift. She started making decisions without asking me. What church we'd attend. What furniture we'd buy. What we'd eat for dinner. When I'd question her, she'd say, Raymond, I'm home all day. I'm the one dealing with these things. I know what's best. But shouldn't we decide together? We are deciding together. I'm just handling the details. I'm your husband. I should have a say. You do have a say. But you're at work all day. You don't have time to worry about these things. That's why I'm handling it. So you can focus on your career. It made sense. Sort of. But it also made me feel less like a partner and more like a paycheck. Then she started controlling the money. I'd give her my paycheck every 2 weeks. She'd deposit it into our joint account. Pay the bills. Give me an allowance for lunch and gas. An allowance? Why do I need an allowance? It's our money. I know. But we need to budget. If we both just spend whatever we want, we'll never save. How much are we saving? She'd show me a number. It looked good on paper. But I never actually saw the account. Never verified it. Never checked. Because I trusted her. And because she'd get upset if I questioned her. Raymond, don't you trust me? Of course, I do. Then why are you questioning how I'm managing our money? I'm not questioning. I just want to understand. If you don't trust me, maybe you should just handle everything yourself. But you're already stressed from work. I'm trying to help you. By managing our finances. keeping us on track. If you don't appreciate that, I can stop. No, no. I appreciate it. Then trust me. So I did. I trusted her. And I stopped asking questions. Stopped wanting to see the accounts. Stopped wanting to understand where our money was going. Because I didn't want to seem like I didn't trust my wife. Didn't want to cause conflict. Didn't want to rock the boat. Our first child, Raymond Jr., was born in June of 1997. 2 years into our marriage. I was excited. Nervous. Ready to be a father. Lorraine was amazing during the pregnancy. Took care of herself. Read all the books. Prepared the nursery. Everything was perfect. The birth was long. 18 hours of labor. I was there the whole time. Holding her hand. Encouraging her. When Raymond Jr. finally came, I cried. Held him. Looked at his tiny face. Thought, this is my son. My legacy. I'm going to be the best father I can be. Lorraine recovered quickly. Was up and moving within days. Breastfeeding. Changing diapers. She was a natural mother. Organized. Efficient. The baby had a schedule. Wake up at 6. Eat. Nap at 8. Eat again at 10. Nap at noon. Everything was regimented. When I try to help, she'd say, I've got it. You go rest. But I want to help. He's my son too. I know. But you have to work tomorrow. I can handle this. Let me at least change a diaper. You don't know how to do it right. I can learn. Raymond, just go sit down. I've got this. So I did. Sat down. Watched TV. While my wife took care of our son. And I felt useless. Like I wasn't needed. Like I was just there to provide money and stay out of the way. Our second child, Natalie, was born 2 years later in May of 1999. Same thing. Lorraine handled everything. I was barely involved. Just the money guy. The one who went to work and came home to a clean house and well-fed kids. By this point, we bought a house. A 3-bedroom ranch in Southfield. Nice neighborhood. Good schools. 15-minute commute to my job. I was making $60,000 a year by then. Enough to afford the mortgage, car payments, bills, and save a little. Or so I thought. Lorraine managed everything. The house. The kids. The money. The schedule. I just followed orders. Raymond, the lawn needs mowing. Raymond, the gutters need cleaning. Raymond, we need to go to Home Depot this weekend. Raymond, can you pick up milk on your way home? Raymond, Raymond, Raymond. I felt like an employee in my own house. Not a husband. Not a father. An employee. When I try to assert myself, try to make a decision, she'd shut me down. I think we should take the kids to the zoo this weekend. We can't. Why not? Because I already made plans to visit my mother. Can't we do that another day? No. I told her we'd come Saturday. But you didn't ask me if I was available. You're always available on Saturdays. That's when you don't work. But I had plans. What plans? I wanted to watch the game with Marcus. You can watch the game another time. Family comes first. Lorraine, you can't just make plans without consulting me. Yes, I can. I'm your wife. I'm making family decisions. And the decision is we're visiting my mother Saturday. End of discussion. And it was. End of discussion. Every time. My opinion didn't matter. My wants didn't matter. Only hers did. The isolation started around year 5. We had friends. Couples we hang out with from church. Marcus and his wife, Keisha. David and his wife, Nicole. Anthony and his wife, Rhonda. We get together once a month. Have dinner. Play cards. Talk. Laugh. It was good. But Lorraine started finding problems with everyone. Marcus and Keisha? They're not serious people. All they do is party and drink. They go to church every Sunday. So, they're still not the kind of people we should be around. They're my friends, Lorraine. They've been my friends since high school. Well, maybe you need better friends. What about David and Nicole? She's too loud. I can't stand being around her. She hurts my ears. She's just expressive. She's obnoxious. And what about Anthony and Rhonda? He's always looking at me funny. Looking at you how? Like he's interested. Anthony's not interested in you. He's married. Happily. That doesn't mean anything. Men are dogs. Even married ones. Lorraine, you're being paranoid. No, I'm being careful. And I don't want him around our house anymore. One by one, our friends disappeared. She'd find a reason to dislike each of them. And rather than fight about it, rather than defend my friendships, I just let them go. Stopped calling. Stopped making plans. Stopped reaching out. And eventually, they stopped reaching out too. Then it was my boys. My basketball crew. Guys I've been playing with every Saturday morning since college. Can I go play ball this Saturday? Why? Because I enjoy it. It's been 3 weeks since I played. You're always leaving me alone with the kids. It's 2 hours, Lorraine. 2 hours on a Saturday morning. That's when I need help the most. The kids are awake and energetic. I need you here. But you manage them all week while I'm at work. Exactly. All week. So on the weekend, I need your help. Can't I have 2 hours for myself? Why do you need to be by yourself? What's wrong with being with your family? Nothing's wrong with it. I just want to play basketball. So, you'd rather play basketball than spend time with your kids? That's not what I said. That's exactly what you said. No, it's not. I'm just asking for 2 hours. 2 hours away from me and the kids. Why? Are we not enough for you? Lorraine, don't do that. Don't twist my words. I'm not twisting anything. You're the one who wants to abandon your family to play a game. It's not abandoning. Fine. Go. But don't expect me to be happy about it. And don't expect me to have a good attitude when you get back. I looked at her face. The anger. The manipulation. And I thought, is 2 hours of basketball worth the 3 days of silent treatment I'm going to get? No. It's not. So I said, never mind. I'll stay home. Good. That's what I thought. And just like that, basketball was gone. My weekly game with my boys. Gone. Because it was easier to give it up than to deal with her attitude. By year 10, I didn't recognize myself anymore. I'd gained weight. A lot of weight. Went from 185 to 225. 40 pounds. My clothes didn't fit. I felt sluggish. Tired all the time. I'd stopped exercising. Stopped playing ball. Stopped doing anything physical. Just worked and came home. Ate whatever Lorraine put in front of me. Usually heavy, fried, comfort food. Sat on the couch. Watched TV. Went to bed. Repeat. I had no friends. None. Marcus had stopped calling after I turned him down for the 5th time. David moved to Chicago. Anthony and Rhonda got divorced. Everyone had moved on. And I was alone. Isolated. My only social interaction was at work. And even that was limited because Lorraine would call me multiple times a day. Where are you? I'm at work. Who are you with? My coworkers. Which coworkers? Does it matter? Yes. It matters. I want to know who you're around. Why? Because you're my husband. I have a right to know. Lorraine, I'm working. I can't talk right now. Fine. But call me back when you're done. And don't forget we need you to stop at the store on the way home. What do we need? I'll text you a list. And make sure you get the right brand. Last time you got the wrong thing and I had to throw it away. Okay. And Raymond? Yes? I love you. I love you too. But it didn't feel like love. It felt like surveillance. Like she was checking on me. Making sure I was where I said I'd be. Making sure I wasn't doing anything she didn't approve of. And God forbid I was 5 minutes late coming home. Where were you? I told you I'd be home by 6. It's 6:05. There was traffic. Traffic? That's your excuse? It's not an excuse. It's the truth. I don't believe you. Believe what you want, Lorraine. I'm home now. Don't get an attitude with me. I don't have an attitude. Yes, you do. And I don't appreciate it. I work all day. I come home. I do everything you ask. And you're giving me grief over being 5 minutes late? I'm not giving you grief. I'm asking a simple question. Where were you? And I told you. There was traffic. Were you with someone? With someone? Who would I be with? I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Lorraine, I wasn't with anyone. I was sitting in traffic on the Lodge Freeway like thousands of other people. If you say so. What does that mean? It means I don't believe you. But I'm not going to argue about it. Just don't be late again. And she'd walk away, leaving me standing there, feeling guilty for something I didn't do, feeling like I was constantly on trial, constantly having to prove myself, constantly falling short. The criticism got worse over the years. Constant. Relentless. About everything. Raymond, you're getting fat. You need to watch what you eat. Raymond, why are you wearing that shirt? It's stained. Raymond, did you really need to buy that? We're trying to save money. Raymond, you left the toilet seat up again. How many times do I have to tell you? Raymond, you forgot to take out the trash. What's wrong with you? Raymond, you're breathing too loud. Can you breathe quieter? I'm not joking. She actually said that once. Asked me to breathe quieter because I was bothering her. And I tried. Tried to be quieter. Tried to be neater. Tried to be better. But nothing was ever enough. She'd find something else to criticize. Some other way I was failing. And the worst part? She'd do it in front of the kids. Your father can't even remember to close the cabinet doors. Look at this mess he made. Your father spent $50 on lunch this week. $50. Can you believe that? Your father thinks he's going to watch the game instead of helping with homework. Typical. And the kids absorbed it. Started seeing me the way she saw me. Incompetent. Lazy. Selfish. Raymond Jr. would roll his eyes when I try to help with something. Dad, just let Mom do it. You'll mess it up anyway. Natalie would sigh when I'd forget something. Dad, you're so forgetful. How do you even function at work? It hurt. Hurt more than I can describe. To have my own children look at me with disappointment. With disdain. Because their mother had taught them that I was less than. I tried to talk to Lorraine about it. Lorraine, you can't criticize me in front of the kids. It undermines my authority. It makes them disrespect me. I'm not criticizing. I'm just pointing out facts. But the way you say it makes me look bad. Maybe you should stop doing things that make you look bad. That's not fair. Life's not fair, Raymond. Get over it. Can we please just try to be a team? Present a united front to the kids? We are a team. I'm trying to make you better. Make us better as a family. By pointing out everything I do wrong? By holding you accountable. There's a difference. I don't feel like you're holding me accountable. I feel like you're tearing me down. That's because you're too sensitive. And there it was. Too sensitive. The phrase she used constantly. Anytime I expressed hurt. Anytime I said something bothered me. Too sensitive. It was her way of dismissing my feelings. Making everything my problem. My fault. My weakness. And after hearing it for 10 years, I started to believe it. Started to think maybe I was too sensitive. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe I was the problem. I went to therapy. Without telling Lorraine. I knew she'd say it was a waste of money. That I didn't need it. That I was being dramatic. So I went during my lunch break. Found a therapist named Dr. Patricia Lewis. Black woman. Mid-50s. Warm but direct. I sat in her office and unloaded. Told her everything. The control. The criticism. The isolation. The constant feeling of inadequacy. When I finished, she asked, "How long has this been going on?" 10 years. Since we got married. And you've never talked to anyone about it? No. I thought it would get better. Thought if I just tried harder, things would improve. Raymond, what you're describing sounds like emotional abuse. Abuse? No. Lorraine's not abusive. She's just particular. Does she control your finances? Yes, but we agreed to that. Does she isolate you from friends and family? She doesn't like some of them, but that's her choice. Does she criticize you constantly? Make you feel incompetent? Sometimes. But she's just trying to help me be better. Raymond, that's not help. That's control. Abuse isn't always physical. It can be emotional. Financial. And from what you're telling me, your wife is checking a lot of boxes. I sat there. Silent. Trying to process what she was saying. Because abuse was something that happened to other people. To women, mostly. Not to men. And certainly not to me. I'm a grown man. I have a job. I support my family. How can I be abused? Abuse doesn't discriminate, Raymond. It can happen to anyone. And the fact that you're a man doesn't make you immune. In fact, it might make it harder for you to recognize. Because society tells men they're supposed to be strong. In control. And admitting you're in an abusive relationship feels like admitting weakness. But recognizing it and seeking help? That takes real strength. I went home that day and looked at my marriage differently. Tried to see it objectively. And what I saw scared me. Because Dr. Lewis was right. I was in an abusive relationship. Had been for 10 years. And I didn't know how to get out. I kept going to therapy. Every week for 6 months. Dr. Lewis helped me understand the patterns. The cycle of abuse. How it starts small. How it escalates. How it makes you doubt yourself. How it makes you dependent. She also helped me understand why I stayed. Because it's not as simple as just leaving. There are practical reasons. Financial entanglement. Children. Fear of judgment. Fear of being alone. But there are also psychological reasons. learned helplessness, trauma bonding, the hope that things will get better, that your partner will change, that if you just try harder, love harder, be better, the abuse will stop. But it doesn't. It never does. Not unless the abuser seeks help. And Lorraine wasn't going to seek help, because she didn't think she was doing anything wrong. She thought she was helping me, improving me, making me a better husband, a better father, a better man. And as long as she believed that, nothing would change. So Dr. Lewis asked me a question. Do you want to stay in this marriage? I don't know. Are you happy? No. Do you see a path to happiness with Lorraine? No. Then what's keeping you? The kids. I don't want to hurt them. Raymond, staying in an unhealthy marriage hurts them more than leaving. They're learning what relationships look like by watching you and Lorraine. Is this what you want them to think is normal? I thought about Raymond Jr., how quiet he was, how he avoided conflict, how he seemed anxious all the time. And I thought about Natalie, how she'd started bossing her friends around, criticizing them, just like her mother. No, I don't want this for them. Then you need to make a choice. Do you stay and accept this as your life? Or do you leave and build something better? I'm scared. Of what? Of being alone. Of starting over. Of failing. Raymond, you're already alone. Even though you're married, you're isolated. As for starting over, you're only 45 years old. You have a lot of life left. And as for failing, the only failure is staying in a situation that's destroying you. I left that session with a lot to think about. But I still wasn't ready to leave. Not yet. Because leaving meant admitting my marriage was a failure. Meant facing my family. Meant telling my kids their parents were getting divorced. And I didn't know how to do any of that. So I stayed. For another 10 years. 10 more years of control. Criticism. Isolation. 10 more years of feeling small. Inadequate. Invisible. 10 more years of losing myself. During those 10 years, things didn't get better. They got worse. The kids grew up. Raymond Jr. went to college in 2015. Came back different. Angrier. More withdrawn. Started having panic attacks. I found out later he'd been in therapy too, trying to deal with the anxiety from growing up in our household. He never said it directly, but I knew. He'd seen too much, heard too much, absorbed too much tension. Natalie went to college in 2017. She was different too. Controlling. Critical. Just like her mother. She'd pick fights with her roommates. Tell them how to do things. Get angry when they didn't listen. She burned through 3 roommates in 2 years. When I tried to talk to her about it, she'd say, I'm just trying to help them be better. They should appreciate that. I heard Lorraine in every word. And it broke my heart. But I didn't say anything. Because I didn't know how to fix it. Didn't know how to tell my daughter she was repeating her mother's patterns. Didn't know how to break the cycle. Lorraine got worse once the kids left. Because now she had nothing to focus on except me. And the control intensified. She wanted access to everything. My phone. My email. My bank account. My car. My briefcase. She'd go through all of it, looking for evidence of infidelity. Where were you today at 2:15? At work. Why? Your phone shows you were at a Starbucks on Woodward. I went to get coffee. With who? By myself. I don't believe you. You were with someone. I wasn't with anyone, Lorraine. Then why did you go to Starbucks? Because I wanted coffee. We have coffee at home. I wanted to get out of the office. For 15 minutes. To Starbucks. Alone. Yes. Alone. You're lying. I know you are. I can see it in your face. And we'd argue. 4 hours. Until I was exhausted. Until I just wanted peace. Until I'd say, you're right. I'm sorry. Just to make it stop. Even though I hadn't done anything wrong. Even though I was telling the truth. I'd apologize. Because it was easier than fighting. Easier than defending myself. Easier than standing my ground. The financial control was complete by this point. I had no idea what our financial situation looked like. No idea how much we had saved. Where our money was going. What our retirement looked at. I'd been working for 30 years. Making good money. Started at $45,000. By 2020, I was making $110,000 a year. We should have been comfortable. Should have had at least $500,000 saved. But I didn't know. And every time I asked, Lorraine shut me down. I want to see our bank statements. Why? Because I want to know where our money is. Don't you trust me? I've been managing our finances for 25 years. I trust you. I just want to understand our situation. If you trusted me, you wouldn't need to see anything. I manage everything. You just need to focus on work. But Lorraine, I have a right to see our accounts. We're married. It's our money. Fine. You want to see? You want to take over? Go ahead. Take over everything. But don't come crying to me when you realize how much work it is. I'm not trying to take over. I just want to see the statements. No. If you don't trust me, then we have bigger problems than money. And she'd storm off. Give me the silent treatment for days. Until I apologized and dropped it. This happened at least once a year. Every time, the same pattern. I'd ask. She'd refuse. I'd push. She'd threaten. I'd back down. And the cycle would continue. Looking back, I realized she was hiding something. Had to be. No one gets that defensive unless they're hiding something. But I was so beaten down by that point, so conditioned to not question her, that I just accepted it. Then, in 2022, something happened that changed everything. My mother got sick. She'd been feeling tired for months. Losing weight. Not eating. Finally went to the doctor. They ran tests. Found cancer. Stage 4. Pancreatic. The doctor said she had maybe 6 months. Possibly a year if she responded well to treatment. But the prognosis wasn't good. I was devastated. My mother was 78 years old. She'd worked hard her whole life. Raised 3 kids. Buried my father 10 years earlier. And now she was dying. I wanted to spend time with her. As much time as possible. Visit her every day. Take her to appointments. Sit with her. Talk with her. Make sure she wasn't alone. But Lorraine said no. Your mother has your sisters. They can take care of her. But I want to be there too. You visit her on Sundays. That's enough. It's not enough. She's dying. I know. And I'm sorry. But you have responsibilities here. What responsibilities? The kids are grown. They're out of the house. You still have responsibilities to me. To our home. To our marriage. My mother is dying, Lorraine. I understand that. But life doesn't stop. You can't just abandon everything to sit at her bedside. I'm not abandoning anything. I just want to see her more often. And I think you should. Once a week. Like you've been doing. But I want to go every day. Every day? That's excessive. She's my mother. And I'm your wife. Your first responsibility is to me. That's not fair. Life isn't fair. You need to prioritize. And right now, you need to prioritize this marriage. Otherwise, there won't be a marriage to come back to. Are you threatening me? I'm stating facts. If you choose your mother over me, there will be consequences. What kind of consequences? You'll find out if you make the wrong choice. I stood there looking at her. This woman I'd been married to for 27 years. This woman who controlled every aspect of my life. This woman who was now telling me I couldn't see my dying mother. And something inside me broke. Not dramatically. Not explosively. Just quietly. Like a thread that had been pulled too tight for too long finally snapping. I said, I'm going to see my mother. Every day if I want to. And you can't stop me. Lorraine's face turned red. Excuse me? You heard me. I'm going to see my mother. You don't get to tell me I can't. We'll see about that. Yes. We will. And I walked out. Got in my car. Drove to the hospital. My mother was in a room on the 4th floor. My sisters, Monica and Denise, were there. They looked up when I came in. Ray. Hey. How is she? Sleeping. The pain meds knock her out. I sat down next to the bed. Held my mother's hand. It was thin. Fragile. Covered in age spots and bruises from the IVs. I started crying. Not loud. Just quiet tears running down my face. Monica came over. Put her hand on my shoulder. It's okay, Ray. We're all struggling. It's not just Mama. It's everything. I know. Lorraine? Yeah. Monica sat down next to me. Ray, I've wanted to say this for years. But I didn't think you'd listen. Say what? You need to leave her. I know. It took everything I had not to break down completely. But I kept it together. Held my mother's hand. And made a decision. I was going to see my mother every day. No matter what Lorraine said. No matter what consequences she threatened. Because life is short. And I wasn't going to let my mother die without me there. I visited every day for the next 3 months. After work, I'd drive straight to the hospital. Sit with her for 2 or 3 hours. Talk to her. Read to her. Hold her hand. Sometimes she was awake. Sometimes she was sleeping. But I was there. My sisters were there too. We took shifts. Made sure she was never alone. And during those 3 months, I felt more like myself than I had in years. Connected to my family. Present. Purposeful. Lorraine was furious. Would call me constantly. Where are you? At the hospital with Mama. Again? Yes. Again. When are you coming home? I don't know. Later. This is ridiculous, Raymond. You're there every day. So you're neglecting your responsibilities here. What responsibilities? I pay the bills. I take care of the house. What more do you want? I want my husband home. Your husband is with his dying mother. Well, your mother can share you with your wife. I'll be home when I'm home. And I'd hang up. My mother passed away on September 12th, 2022. I was there. Holding her hand. My sisters were there too. She went peacefully. In her sleep. No pain. Just slipped away. I was grateful for that. Grateful that I'd been there. Grateful that I'd made the choice to prioritize her. Even though it meant dealing with Lorraine's wrath. The funeral was 4 days later. Big service at our family church. Lots of people. My mother had been well loved in the community. Lorraine came, wore black, sat next to me, held my hand during the service, played the supportive wife. But I could feel the tension, the anger she was holding back. After the funeral, we had a repast at Monica's house. Family and friends. Food. Stories. Laughter mixed with tears. It was good. Healing. Monica pulled me aside at one point. How are you holding up? I'm okay. You don't look okay. You look exhausted. I am exhausted. Ray, I'm going to say this again. You need to leave Lorraine. I know. When? I don't know. Soon. How soon? I don't know, Monica. I just buried my mother. Can we not do this right now? I'm sorry. But I'm worried about you. You look terrible. You've lost yourself. I know. So when are you going to do something about it? Soon. Promise? I promise. That night, I went home. Sat in my car in the driveway for 30 minutes. Thinking. About my mother. About my life. About the past 27 years. About the man I used to be and the man I'd become. I thought about my father. How he'd spent his whole life making my mother happy. Keeping the peace. Never asserting himself. Never standing up. He died at 70. Just dropped dead of a heart attack one day. And I wondered if the stress of always suppressing himself had contributed. If the weight of always being less than had killed him. I didn't want that to be me. Didn't want to die having never really lived. Having never been free. Having never been myself. I walked into the house. Lorraine was in the living room. Watching TV. Didn't look up when I came in. I stood there for a moment. Then I said, Lorraine, we need to talk. Not now. I'm watching my show. Now. She looked up. Annoyed. What? I'm not happy. Here we go again. You're never happy. That's the problem. No. The problem is you. Me? Yes. You. You control every aspect of my life. You criticize everything I do. You've isolated me from everyone I care about. You won't let me see our financial records. You treat me like an employee instead of a husband. And I'm done. You're just upset about your mother. This has nothing to do with my mother. This is about us. About how you've treated me for 27 years. I haven't treated you any differently than any wife treats her husband. That's not true. And you know it. You're being dramatic. I'm being honest. For the first time in years, I'm being honest. I want a divorce. She laughed. Actually laughed. A divorce? You're not getting a divorce. Yes, I am. I've thought about this. I can't do this anymore. You're just emotional. You'll get over it. No, I won't. I'm serious, Lorraine. I want a divorce. The laughter stopped. Her face changed. From amusement to shock to anger in seconds. You're serious. I am. You can't leave me. We've been married for 27 years. I know. And I've been unhappy for most of them. So you're just going to throw away our marriage? Our family? Everything we've built? I'm not throwing anything away. I'm choosing myself. For the first time in 27 years, I'm choosing myself. She stood up. Walked toward me. You're pathetic. You know that? 55 years old and you're running away like a coward. I'm not running away. I'm leaving an unhealthy situation. Unhealthy? I've given you everything. A clean home. Good food. Children. What more do you want? I want to feel valued. Respected. I want to feel like a partner, not a servant. You're just selfish. That's what you are. Selfish. Maybe I am. But I'd rather be selfish than miserable. You will regret this. You'll come crawling back. And I'll be here. Waiting. To say I told you so. No, I won't. Because I'm done. I'm done being controlled. I'm done being criticized. I'm done living my life for you. Fine. Leave. But you're not taking anything. This house is mine. The money is mine. Everything is mine. We'll let the lawyers figure that out. Lawyers? You're really going to do this? Yes. I am. You're going to destroy this family. No. I'm going to save myself. And maybe, in the process, I'll show our kids that it's okay to choose happiness. That it's okay to leave situations that hurt you. She stared at me. I could see the calculations in her eyes. The realization that I was serious. That this wasn't just another argument she could win. That I was actually leaving. Fine, she said quietly. Leave. But don't expect me to make this easy. I don't expect anything from you, Lorraine. I never have. That seemed to hurt her. More than anything else I'd said. Her face crumpled for just a second. Then hardened again. Get out. I need to pack. Then pack and get out. I went upstairs. Packed a bag. Clothes. Toiletries. Important documents I'd hidden in my office. My laptop. Some photos. Took me 20 minutes. When I came back downstairs, Lorraine was on the phone. Crying. Talking to someone. Probably her mother or her sister. Playing the victim. I didn't care. I walked out the door. Put my bag in the car. Sat in the driver's seat. And for the first time in 27 years, I felt free. I called Monica. Can I stay with you for a while? Of course. What happened? I left. I left Lorraine. There was silence. Then, I'm proud of you, Ray. Can I come now? Come now. I'll have the guest room ready. I drove to Monica's house in Farmington Hills. She met me at the door. Hugged me tight. You did it. I did it. How do you feel? Terrified. Relieved. I don't know. That's normal. Come in. Let's get you settled. I stayed with Monica for 2 weeks. During that time, Lorraine called constantly. Texts. Voicemails. Emails. At first, she was angry. How could you do this to me? After everything I've done for you? You're throwing away our marriage like it means nothing. Then she was pleading. Raymond, please come home. We can work this out. I'll change. I promise. Just come home. Then she was threatening. You're going to regret this. I'm going to take everything. The house. The money. The kids. You'll have nothing. I didn't respond to any of it. Just let her cycle through her emotions. Let her say what she needed to say. Because I was done engaging. Done defending myself. Done playing her games. The kids called too. Raymond Jr. first. Dad, what's going on? I heard you left Mom. I did. Why? Because I wasn't happy. I haven't been happy for a long time. Is it because of Grandma? Partly. But mostly it's because your mother and I aren't good together. We haven't been for years. I didn't know that. I know. We tried to hide it. But it's true. How's Mom doing? She's upset. Angry. I'm sure she is. But this is something I need to do. For myself. I get it, Dad. Do you? Yeah. I've seen how she treats you. It's not right. I appreciate you saying that. Are you okay? I will be. Let me know if you need anything. Thanks, son. I love you. Love you too, Dad. Natalie was less understanding. How could you do this? Do what? Leave Mom. How could you just abandon her? I didn't abandon her. I left an unhealthy relationship. Unhealthy? Yes. Your mother and I have been unhappy for a long time. But you're married. You're supposed to work through problems. We've been trying to work through problems for 27 years, Natalie. At some point, you have to accept that some things can't be fixed. You're just giving up. I'm not giving up. I'm choosing myself. Choosing to be healthy. That's selfish. Maybe. But I'd rather be selfish than dead inside. Mom is devastated. I know. And I'm sorry she's hurting. But I can't stay in a marriage just to make her happy. What about your vows? What about till death do us part? Natalie, I've died a little every day for 27 years. I'm just finally admitting it. That's dramatic. It's true. She hung up. Didn't talk to me for 3 months. That hurt. But I understood. She was young. She'd been raised by Lorraine. She'd internalized Lorraine's perspective. She'd come around eventually. Or she wouldn't. But I couldn't let her opinion dictate my life. Not anymore. I found an apartment. 1 bedroom in Royal Oak. Small. Nothing fancy. But it was mine. My space. My rules. First place I'd ever had that was truly mine since I got married. I signed the lease. Moved in with just the 1 bag I'd packed. Needed everything. Furniture. Kitchen stuff. Towels. Sheets. Everything. I spent a weekend at IKEA and Target. Bought the basics. Put everything together myself. And for the first time in decades, I felt accomplished. Felt capable. Felt like I could actually do things on my own without someone criticizing every choice. I hired a lawyer. Woman named Angela Morrison. Came highly recommended. Specialized in divorce. I met with her in her office downtown. Told her my story. She listened. Took notes. When I finished, she said, "This is going to be complicated." Why? Because you've been married almost 30 years. Because there are assets to divide. Because your wife isn't going to let you go easily. I know. First thing we need to do is get access to your financial records. I don't have access. What do you mean? My wife has controlled all our finances for 27 years. I don't know what we have. You don't know what's in your bank accounts? No. Do you know what your retirement looks like? No. Do you know if there are any debts? No. Angela sat back. This is a problem. I know. We're going to need to subpoena everything. Bank records. Credit card statements. Retirement accounts. Mortgage documents. Everything. Your wife has been in control for almost 3 decades. We need to see what she's been doing. What if it's bad? Then we'll deal with it. But you need to be prepared for the possibility that your financial situation isn't what you think it is. I nodded. Already suspected it. Already knew deep down that Lorraine had been hiding something. The divorce process started. Angela filed the papers. Lorraine was served. She called me immediately. You actually filed for divorce? Yes. I thought you were just upset. Thought you'd come to your senses. I'm not coming back, Lorraine. You're making a huge mistake. Maybe. But it's my mistake to make. We'll see how you feel when you're alone and broke. We'll see. Angela subpoenaed all our financial records. What came back shocked me. In 27 years of marriage, we should have accumulated significant savings. I've been making good money for decades. We'd been careful. Or so I thought. Instead, we had $73,000 in savings. That's it. What? I looked at Angela. Where did it all go? She showed me the bank statements. Spreadsheets. Highlighted transactions. Shopping. Thousands spent every month at department stores. Nordstrom. Macy's. Saks. Designer clothes. Shoes. Handbags. Vacations. Lorraine had taken at least 2 trips a year. Sometimes alone. Sometimes with her mother or friends. Expensive trips. Cruises. Resort vacations. All charged to our credit cards. A car. A Mercedes. Purchased 3 years ago. I'd never seen it. Never knew about it. Registered in her name only. Parked at her mother's house. Loans. She'd taken out personal loans. Home equity lines of credit. Credit cards I didn't know about. All in both our names. I was liable for half. The house. Had a second mortgage. She'd refinanced without telling me. Forged my signature. Taken out another $100,000. Spent it. I felt sick. How much debt are we in? Angela showed me the total. $230,000. In debt. Not counting the original mortgage. I'm ruined. Not yet. We can fight this. Show she committed fraud. Forged documents. Spent marital assets recklessly. But that takes time. And money. Money I don't have. We'll figure it out, Raymond. But you need to understand, this is going to be ugly. The divorce took 18 months. 18 months of hell. Lorraine fought everything. Claimed I'd abandoned her. Claimed I was having an affair. Claimed I was mentally unstable. She hired an expensive lawyer. Probably with money she'd hidden somewhere. They tried everything. Tried to get the judge to order me back into the marriage. To mandate counseling. To force reconciliation. Angela fought back. Presented the financial evidence. The forged signatures. The secret spending. The hidden debt. She presented testimony from Dr. Lewis about the emotional abuse. Character witnesses from my sisters. From friends who'd seen how Lorraine treated me. From Raymond Jr., who bravely testified about the toxic environment he grew up in. Slowly, the judge started to see the truth. Started to understand that this wasn't just a man abandoning his wife. This was a man escaping abuse. The final hearing was in March of 2024. Both sides presented their cases. Lorraine's lawyer painted me as selfish. Cruel. A man who'd used his wife for decades and then discarded her. Angela painted the truth. A man who'd been controlled, abused, and financially exploited for almost 30 years. A man who finally found the courage to leave. The judge deliberated for a week. Then issued the ruling. Divorce granted. Assets divided. I got half of the $73,000 in savings. $36,000. Lorraine got the house, which still had the mortgage and the second mortgage on it. The debt was divided. I was responsible for half. $115,000. I was ordered to pay alimony. $1,500 a month for 5 years. Total, $90,000. I walked out of that courtroom with $36,000 and $115,000 in debt, plus the $90,000 I'd owe in alimony over 5 years. Financially, I was destroyed. But emotionally, I was free. And that was worth more than any amount of money. The first year after the divorce was hard. Really hard. I had to rebuild everything from scratch. My life. My routines. My identity. I'd spent 27 years being someone's husband. Someone's employee. And now I was just Raymond. Just me. And I didn't know who that was anymore. I started going to therapy regularly. Dr. Lewis helped me process everything. The abuse. The financial betrayal. The loss. The grief. Because divorce is grief. Even when you're the one who initiates it. Even when you know it's the right decision. You're still grieving the loss of what you thought your life would be. I also started paying off the debt. Slowly. A little each month. It would take years. But I didn't care. I was free. That was worth the financial struggle. I reconnected with old friends. Marcus first. Called him out of the blue. Hey man. Long time. Ray? Is that you? Yeah, it's me. Man, where have you been? I've been trying to reach you for years. I know. I'm sorry. I was in a bad place. You okay now? Getting there. I left Lorraine. About damn time. We met up. Played basketball for the first time in 15 years. I was terrible. Out of shape. Slow. But it felt amazing. Just being on the court again. Doing something I loved. Marcus introduced me to his new crew. Guys in their 50s and 60s. All playing for fun. Staying active. We started playing every Saturday morning. Just like old times. But better. Because now I wasn't worried about going home to anger. To silent treatment. To punishment. I was just playing ball. Being myself. Living. I lost the weight I'd gained. All 40 pounds. Started eating better. Exercising regularly. Taking care of myself. Started feeling healthier. Stronger. More alive. I picked up old hobbies. Reading. I'd always loved reading but hadn't had time in years. Now I read everything. Fiction. Biographies. History. Self-help. Anything that interested me. Music. Started going to jazz clubs. Concerts. Live music. Something I'd loved before I got married but had given up. Travel. Took a trip to New Orleans by myself. First vacation I'd taken alone in decades. Walked around the French Quarter. Listened to street musicians. Ate amazing food. And enjoyed every second of being alone. Of not having to check in. Of not having to justify my choices. Of just being. I started dating. Tentatively at first. Hadn't dated in 30 years. Didn't know the rules anymore. But I figured it out. Joined a dating app. Met some nice women. Had some good conversations. Some good dates. Nothing serious at first. Just getting my feet wet. Learning what I wanted. What I didn't want. Then I met Diane. She was 53. Worked as a nurse. Divorced 5 years earlier after a 20-year marriage. Had 2 grown kids. Her own place. Her own life. Her own interests. We met at a community photography class. Both of us trying to learn something new. We started talking. Realized we had similar stories. Similar struggles. Similar desires for freedom and authenticity. We went for coffee after class. Talked for 3 hours. About our marriages. Our divorces. Our fears. Our hopes. About rebuilding our lives and learning who we were outside of relationships. We've been together for a year now. Taking it slow. No rush. No pressure. Just enjoying each other. And it's different. So different from my marriage. Diane respects me. Values my opinion. Encourages my independence. She has her own life. Her own friends. Her own hobbies. We don't need to spend every moment together. Don't need to know each other's every move. We trust each other. Support each other. Enhance each other's lives. That's what a healthy relationship looks like. And I never knew. Never experienced it. I thought marriage was supposed to be sacrifice. Compromise. Putting your partner above yourself. But I've learned that's not true. A healthy relationship is partnership. Two whole people coming together. Not one person absorbing the other. Not one person shrinking so the other can grow. Two people growing together. Raymond Jr. and I have a great relationship now. He comes over regularly. We watch sports. Cook dinner together. Talk about life. He's proud of me for leaving. Told me it taught him an important lesson. What's that? That it's okay to choose yourself. That staying in something that hurts you doesn't make you noble. It just makes you miserable. And life's too short for that. I'm glad you learned that, son. Me too. Because I was heading down the same path. Started dating someone who was controlling. But I recognized the signs. Thanks to watching you. And I ended it. Before it got too serious. I'm proud of you. Thanks, Dad. And I'm proud of you too. Natalie came around too. Took longer. But about a year after the divorce, she called. Dad, can we talk? Of course, baby. I want to apologize. For what? For not supporting you. For judging you. For not understanding. You were just protecting your mother. I know. But I was wrong. I'm in a relationship now and I'm starting to see some patterns. Patterns that remind me of how Mom treated you. And I realize how hard it must have been. I appreciate that, Natalie. And if you're seeing patterns that worry you, you can talk to me. I will. Thanks, Dad. And I love you. I love you too, baby. Lorraine and I don't speak. There's no need. The alimony gets paid automatically. The divorce is final. We've both moved on. I heard through the kids that she's dating someone. Good for her. I genuinely hope she's happy. Hope she's learned. Hope she's treating this person better than she treated me. But that's not my concern anymore. My concern is me. My life. My happiness. My freedom. Now, 3 years later, I'm 58 years old. And I'm happier than I've been in decades. Maybe ever. I have my own apartment that I love. It's small, but it's mine. Decorated the way I want. Painted the colors I like. Filled with things that matter to me. I have friends. Real friends. People who value me. Who enjoy spending time with me. Who don't criticize or control. I have hobbies. Basketball. Reading. Photography. Music. Things that bring me joy. Things I do just because I want to. I have peace. Real peace. Not the false peace of avoiding conflict. But the true peace of being myself. Of living authentically. Of not having to walk on eggshells or suppress who I am. I have freedom. The freedom to make my own choices. Go where I want. Do what I want. See who I want. without having to ask permission or justify myself. And I have hope. Hope for the future. Hope that the best years of my life are still ahead. Hope that I can keep growing and learning and becoming more myself. People ask me if I regret waiting so long to leave. If I regret spending 28 years in that marriage. And my answer is complicated. Yes, I wish I'd left sooner. Wish I'd recognized the abuse earlier. Wish I'd valued myself enough to say this isn't acceptable. But no, I don't completely regret it. Because those years taught me who I am. What I'm capable of. What I deserve. And they gave me 2 incredible children. So I don't regret the past. But I'm grateful for the present. And excited for the future. I'm also asked if it's ever too late to leave. To start over. And my answer is always the same. It's never too late. I was 55 when I left. 55. Most people thought I was crazy. Thought I should just stick it out. Ride it out until retirement. Until death. But why? Why should I have spent the last potentially 20 or 30 years of my life being miserable? Life is too short. Too precious. If you're in a situation that's hurting you, whether it's a job, a relationship, a living situation, whatever, you have the power to change it. It might be scary. It might be hard. It might feel impossible. But it's not. I did it. And if I can do it, so can you. You deserve happiness. You deserve respect. You deserve freedom. And if you're not getting those things where you are, it's okay to leave. It's okay to choose yourself. It's not selfish. It's self-preservation. It's survival. It's choosing life over slow death. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. Looking back on my marriage, I can see all the red flags I missed. The control. The criticism. The isolation. They were there from the beginning. But I didn't recognize them. I thought it was normal. Thought it was what marriage was supposed to be. But it's not. A healthy marriage doesn't require you to give up who you are. Doesn't require you to sacrifice your happiness for your partner's comfort. Doesn't require you to live under someone else's control. A healthy marriage is 2 whole people coming together. Supporting each other. Celebrating each other. Growing together. Not one person absorbing the other. I've also learned that emotional abuse is real. That it happens to men just as often as it happens to women. But it's harder for men to recognize and admit. Because we're taught to be strong. To provide. To handle things. And admitting your wife is controlling you feels like admitting weakness. Like failing as a man. But it's not. Recognizing abuse and leaving takes more strength than staying. Takes more courage than enduring. If you're a man in a controlling relationship, please know it's okay to leave. It's okay to say this isn't working. It's okay to choose yourself. You don't have to stay because of vows or kids or money or what people will think. Those are all reasons. But they're not good enough reasons to destroy yourself. Not good enough reasons to live in misery. My life now is simple. I work. I come home to my own space. I spend time with friends. I date Diane. I visit my kids. I do things I enjoy. I'm not rich. I'm still paying off debt. Still sending alimony checks. Still rebuilding financially. But I'm happy. And that's worth more than any amount of money. Because happiness isn't a destination. It's not something you achieve and then you're done. It's a daily choice. A daily practice. For 28 years, I chose other people's happiness over my own. Chose obligation over joy. Chose survival over living. But not anymore. Now I choose me. Every day. In big ways and small ways. Choosing what I want for breakfast. Choosing what I wear. Choosing how I spend my time. choosing who I spend it with. All choices that seem small. But they're not. They're everything. Because they're mine. So if there's one thing I want you to take from my story, it's this. You matter. Your happiness matters. Your peace matters. Your freedom matters. And if you're not getting those things where you are, it's okay to leave. It's okay to start over. It's okay to choose yourself. Even at 55. Even at 65. Even at 75. It's never too late. Because every day you wake up is a new opportunity. To live the life you want. To be the person you want to be. To choose joy over obligation. And that's what I'm doing now. Living. Really living. For the first time in decades. And it's beautiful. It's uncertain sometimes. It's scary sometimes. But it's mine. And that makes it worth everything. 3 years ago, I left a 28-year marriage. Everyone said I was crazy. Said I was too old. Said I was making a mistake. But they were wrong. Leaving that marriage was the best decision I ever made. Because it gave me back my life. My freedom. Myself. And I'm never giving that up again. This is my story. This is my truth. And if it helps even one person find the courage to leave their own toxic situation, then sharing it was worth it. Because we all deserve to be happy. We all deserve to be free. We all deserve to live, not just exist. And it's never too late to start. So that's my story. But now I want to hear from you. Did you like this chronicle? What would you have done if you were in my position? Have you ever left a toxic relationship, or are you thinking about it? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And tell me, where are you listening to this story from right now? Drop your location in the comments. I love knowing where Uncle Tyrone's Chronicles is reaching. If you enjoyed this story, do me a favor. Hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a story. Trust me, I've got more chronicles coming that you won't want to miss. And before you go, check out the video I'm recommending for you next. I think you're really going to like it. Until next time, this is Uncle Tyrone, reminding you that it's never too late to choose yourself, and the best years of your life might still be ahead of you. Peace.